Hey there, welcome to the new episode of Film Geeks. I'm Michael DeGregorio from CharlotteGeeks.com.
And I'm Max from, FilmGeeks.
From Film Geeks. Good to be with you again. Glad you're here with us today. We are going to do something a little different today. Mm-hmm. We have been doing reviews and stuff, but we're gonna have a little bit of a discussion about one of our favorite directors, James Cameron. And he is anybody who loves movies and anybody who loves genre movies in particular knows the name James Cameron. And if you don't know the name, you know his work.
Right.
And your favorite James Cameron movie was Avatar. We talked about. So
correct.
Let's talk about Avatar. That was the #1 film. Is it still #1 of all time now?
I want to say it is.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
Or did Avengers beat it?
No, I don't think Avengers beat it. I think Avengers might be #2 now.
Okay.
It might, or maybe. I mean, I'm not sure where when you get to that much money. I mean, they're all. It
doesn't
winners.
matter. Right. So we're gonna say Avatar's #1.
Right. Yeah. Let's say Avatar's #1. I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah.
Definitely.
So, it's everybody knows the movie. It was his first movie after Titanic, and he took a 12-year break between films, which was a lot of time. I mean,
long time.
It was enough time that there were people who were just 10 or 11 years old when Titanic came out that they had never really experienced a James Cameron movie in the theater.
And then they were full-grown adults when Avatar came out.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. So, Avatar was a movie that I know Cameron was working on for years.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, it was something that he started writing actually before Titanic.
Really?
Yeah, because
I didn't know that.
The producer, John Davison, who is his right-hand producer, has been with him for at least since Titanic. I think from before that, said that he first saw the script for Avatar when they were prepping Titanic.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's how long it's been around. And, it was basically too unfeasible. They couldn't do it. Like the effects were what they would have to make happen to make that film work. It didn't exist yet. Right,
and that's one thing I did know is that Cameron had the script. I thought it was I heard a number a couple years ago when it came out, 7 years. But if he had it before Titanic.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, all right. Let me rephrase that. I don't think he had the full script. They had what you call a scriptment. Which is like an outline. John Davison said it's like basically it's like a short story with certain scenes broken down with dialogue. Like, kind of gives you the overview of the whole story.
Alrighty.
And I think all the names were in place, all the plot points, everything was in place, but it wasn't the full 180 pages.
Right, it wasn't.
So the script itself probably was around for about 7 years. So the scriptment was from he talks about. Even from like when he's in his early teens, he was obsessed with the natural world, like bugs and he collected stuff like that, and he just loved that kind of, and it just kind of, it all grew over the years into this story for
Avatar. Yeah, and you can definitely see that in the detail of the world.
Oh yeah.
Every species is something new. Every character looks different. They didn't use any body doubles. They didn't nothing. All the Na'vi people are all different, and their world is just lush with life, and it's just gorgeous.
Yeah.
So
it is a fully realized world.
Oh, absolutely.
There is no. It's funny to say there's no artifice because it's all artificial. But they did something that I don't know had ever been done to that extent before, which was he brought in like botanists, I think is the word for like plant.
Yeah, the plant.
And basically he told them like the basic idea of what the planet was like, like how
because this idea is all just in his head. So I mean, he didn't have pictures of it or anything like that.
He had years to think about it. So he gave them the idea of what the world would be as far as like there was a heavy gravitational field or something, and kind of said what kind of plants would grow on this world, and basically let them run with that.
Right.
And he brought in, and this is how James Cameron is James Cameron.
Right.
He brought in a design team, the best in the world, and they worked on it for a couple of years before it was ever even greenlit, and they just basically designed creatures.
Yeah.
You know, the birds, the wild beasts and everything.
Mm-hmm. The gecko that has a little fan for its its wings.
They designed all of those things and like wrote the backstory for them and basically set up the entire world before they ever put any people or a story into it. They just basically designed this world.
That's cool.
Yeah, and that's why the world feels lived in. It feels real
organic.
Because everything was thought out. You know, the bioluminescence, how everything glows at night, which is awesome. You know, all that stuff was worked through by professionals, by scientists. I guess that's the catch-all term. But so when he just puts the story on top of that in that world, then that's why the film just feels there's something they talk about in movies and in television stories and what it's called verisimilitude. Which is, it's like you believe that the world exists outside of the frame that you're looking at.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like a lot of the old movies and stuff, and even modern movies.
Yeah.
A lot of times it feels like everything you're seeing is just for the camera.
Right.
You know, that there's nothing like, but Avatar, verisimilitude, it is basically the idea that if you follow down any road past where the actors are, there is a world down that alley.
Oh yeah,
there's people down there. There's a town over there. The only other film series that I've ever experienced that one is with Lord of the Rings.
Okay, yeah.
You know, I think Peter Jackson has that same kind of thing.
Oh, definitely. He's got the worlds built, and it feels like if you were to go back in time, or to another planet, or to a different universe, even. It would be there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Peter Jackson had the advantage of having the books.
The books right.
And Tolkien was the same kind of guy where he created this entire world.
Details. You know. Right.
And I mean, I think Tolkien even created all the details just to do that, and the story was just an excuse to make those details have a place to go.
Right.
So Cameron has done the same thing, not quite to that degree, but that's the closest I've ever seen. There is just everything feels right. Even the machinery that they use, like the
like
base,
human machinery.
Yeah, the human machinery.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
All that feels.
It feels
real.
Natural. Yeah. It fits with the rest of the world that Cameron built.
And did you? I don't know if you've ever seen the deleted scenes that are in there. Where there was on Earth, basically, like the movie originally started.
No, I haven't seen any of
that. The film, as it opens now, the theatrical version of the film, it starts with him
waking up from cryo sleep.
There's that music playing and he says, "I used to dream of flying."
Right.
And then he wakes up. Well, in the original version of the film, that same opening is there. I used to dream of flying, but when he opens his eyes, he's basically in his wheelchair and he's on this city street. Crossing the street, and it's the world of the future. They talk about it in the movie now, where the world is burned out and we've used up our resources.
Used up all the resources, and there's nothing there. Yeah.
And but you do see it to an extent, not as much as you do on Pandora, but you see the streets, you see the world, and just the extrapolation of the society, with walls that are television screens, and over the streets, if you're laying down looking up, you're seeing commercials that are playing almost on the sky. Ridley Scott did that to a degree in Blade Runner, but it is really, really amazing to see. And it's not a long sequence; it's only 4 minutes. And
I'll definitely have to check that out now.
it's interesting. It just makes the film longer.
Yeah.
It doesn't really add anything to it, but even the Earth,
Right.
He had that same sort of lived-in, thought out.
Oh yeah.
This is how it's really going to look.
That's cool.
And the story has been vilified by so many people because they say it's
Pocahontas.
Pocahontas or Fern Gully in space.
Right.
But Cameron said it best himself. He said, "We're using cutting-edge technology. You're going to a world you've never seen before."
Right.
Sometimes, for that kind of a story to work, you need a simple human story.
Yeah, it's classic.
It's a classic
story.
It's a stranger
works.
in a strange land. He's somebody from Earth who goes there and lives among these people and becomes a part of them.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sorry, but that scene, knowing he can't walk, and when he first gets in the Avatar body, and you can feel the joy of being able to move.
Absolutely.
That's just
he's running around
visceral.
the camp and
yeah, exactly.
It's awesome.
And I mean the effects. Everybody knows the effects are just. They created technology for this movie. I mean,
oh, they absolutely did.
It's absolutely they're on the special edition DVD and Blu-ray set. There's a documentary, an hour and 40-minute documentary called "Capturing Avatar."
Mm-hmm.
I highly suggest it to anybody who loves film and is interested in how they're made and the degree of difficulty that they had in this film.
Right.
It was. I don't know how they did it. I mean, to have to face what they had to face when they started this, there was no way to make this movie. That's why.
Right.
That's why the movie. He was thinking about it during Titanic, but the technology didn't exist to do it yet.
Right.
There was no way to make it happen. So they created technology that other movies now are using to their advantage, which is his idea anyway.
That's awesome.
To have the motion capture and all that. Because what he did is before the motion capturing, there would be guys, they would shoot with their little dots all over in their green suits and everything, and then they would animate that.
Right.
But what he did is on this film, and without going into a lot of detail here, he had it where on their monitors it was a partially rendered Pandora with the faces and everything of the characters. So when he's watching them shoot, he's not seeing them and trying to figure out how it's going to look. He's actually seeing them in that world.
Wow.
So he can direct them in the world of Pandora, which is that had never been done before, and that's added to that my new favorite word, verisimilitude. You could because everything just seemed. It's real. It seemed real. Even if it was not real, it seemed real.
Mm-hmm.
And
it feels like Pandora's out there. Absolutely.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, that was a weird thing that happened during the movie when it was out.
Mm-hmm.
People started. It was actually like a mental disorder for a while, where people would have like depression. And the movie came out in December and it played into like March. It was just it just went and went and went. That's how it became the highest grossing film of all time. But people see the movie over and over again and want to go to that world, and they would have depression when they had to go home and their life wasn't Pandora.
It wasn't Pandora. Yeah.
I know that seems crazy to us, but it was a real thing. That's how complete this world was when they made it. And
that's awesome.
as we know, he's making
he's making
2, 3, 4.
2, 3, and 4, and he just recently hired is it 3 or 4 different screenwriters?
I think 3.
3? Okay, he went up to all of them, hired them, handed them a notebook full of 1,500 pages of notes about the world, just every minute detail that you can think of in the Pandora Avatar world is there in that notebook.
Wow.
And he's not filming 2 until the scripts for 2, 3, and 4 are all finished. So they're the continuity is going to be absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
It's going to be
And he's going to shoot. I think he's
straightforward.
going to shoot it like the Lord of the Rings, and
Oh, yeah.
all in one
Just
go.
all in one go.
Yeah,
Yep,
so
and
it's
then
gonna be,
make breaks with it.
And I know at least one of the films is going to be underwater. Like
Really?
the world is going to be underwater. So that's and
that's cool.
the world is exactly. And CGI and effects, they always said water is one of the hardest things to do. One of the things to make. Fire is the second. Water is the hardest. So to make an entire movie underwater is going to be. He did that with Abyss.
Right.
But this is going to be something a little more, a little beyond that.
Little more, yeah. It's a little harder obstacle to tackle there.
Yeah. So the first one I think is supposed to come out in December of 2016, or the second one is supposed to come out in December 2016. So. And
then subsequently 17 and 18.
Right. Yeah. So Avatar, I'm sure, pretty much everyone on the free world has seen Avatar at this point. So definitely, if you haven't seen it, check it out. But his career didn't begin with Avatar. He started a lot before that. He started as a set decorator for Roger Corman. Roger Corman is known as the guy who's made the most films, directed the most movies, I think, in history. He was a very low-budget filmmaker in the 50s, 60s.
Okay.
And he's still going. He's still alive.
Is he really?
Yeah, he's got to be getting up there, but very successul. He gave a lot of young filmmakers their start. I mean,
that's awesome.
A lot of people their first shot at movie, because he would give them, here's $100,000, go make a movie. And basically anything, a title, girls on bikes, girls in a biker gang. Go shoot that, fine.
Wow.
So Cameron's first movie as a director was a low-budget sequel called Piranha 2.
Yeah, I've actually heard of Piranha 2.
Yeah, it's funny because I've never seen the movie. I think Cameron has done his best to make that movie disappear.
Probably.
But, he started on that, and then his first real movie was a classic. The man has made many classics. His first one was The Terminator.
Right.
With Arnold Schwarzenegger in 1984, which was a landmark movie. I mean, it's
huge.
An amazing character, an amazing concept.
Absolutely.
He followed that up with the sequel, a daunting sequel to Ridley Scott's 1979 masterpiece Alien, with aliens. And it's one of those rare
stretching
films,
the title
stretching
there.
it out. With the first movie there was one, and the aliens there was like 150.
There were a ton
everywhere. And I loved the log line of aliens, like the thing on the poster, the catchphrase.
Right.
It just said, "This time it's war," and it was like a war movie. That was his idea. It was a war movie, Marines in space.
Right. Fighting all the alien.
It was
the xenomorphs.
If you have not seen Aliens, I don't want to know you, because it's a classic film. It's one of the greatest movies of that kind ever made.
I'll still be cordial. I'll know you.
After that, after Aliens in 1986, he had his first and really only misstep in terms of success was a movie called The Abyss, which is still a really good movie. It's
the underwater one, right?
Yeah, that was his first movie underwater. We talked about that a minute ago with Avatar, but this was and it's also the first use of CGI of a CGI creature on film. It was a water thing. The alien took a thing of a water, like a snake type thing.
Yeah.
But that shot itself was like one of the hardest things they ever did on film. At the time, it had never been done before. And after The Abyss, though, he followed up with, came back hard with my personal favorite James Cameron movie, Terminator 2: Judgment Day.
Right.
In 1991, which was a great Arnold Schwarzenegger film.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of great action, and again, a lot of great CGI.
Yeah.
With the T-1000.
Right.
Robert Patrick. That was the first complete CGI character.
Right.
After that, True Lies, 1994. Arnold Schwarzenegger again with Jamie Lee Curtis, and that was a phenomenal film. There's my favorite word, phenomenal. Got a lot of feedback. I think we said phenomenal a couple episodes ago like 30 times.
Something like that,
yeah. But I will use it only this one time. And Terminator 2: Judgment Day is phenomenal. And after that, there's the movie, a little small movie, a little docudrama about a boat called Titanic.
God Almighty.
Right.
You may have heard of that one.
Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, up until Avatar, it was the highest grossing film of all time.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even have to talk about Titanic. Leonardo DiCaprio, Kate Winslet, an iceberg, love, that very small door that she wouldn't let him climb on, so he drowned. Spoiler alert.
Very small door.
Small door. 3 times the size of this table we're talking on here. But yeah, so, and then he followed with Avatar. And for the foreseeable future, he's going to be in Avatar world because
for a long time.
Yeah. And of course, he does a lot of documentaries. He's a underwater fanatic. Like he does a lot of diving documentaries. And I mean, when he made Titanic, he actually went to the actual boat. Like
and they did excavations and
down there.
Mapped it out.
Exactly. So he's a phenomenal director. My word again. He's a very meticulous director. He's been known to be a screamer and a yeller on set, but he is a perfectionist.
Right.
And his
movies speak for it.
Exactly. They speak
for themselves.
They're amazing works of art, whether or not you like the story or you care for the dialogue or whatever, but the movies themselves, they hold up.
Right, absolutely.
I mean, Terminator, Aliens, Terminator 2, Avatar, and Titanic, that's 5 out of 7 movies are classic films. So for Titanic director, James Cameron is one of the great directors of our time, and I think of the last century, and I can't wait to see what he does next. Well, that wraps it up for our very special episode of Film Geeks, as we talk about our favorite directors. But that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be talking about things that we love, not just movie reviews. We're going to be talking about genres we love, films we love, directors, actors, our personal favorite movies. We talked to Cameron Moore. We did a thing about Scott Pilgrim.
Scott Pilgrim versus the World, right?
And so that's just what we. And at some point, we're going to talk about Inception, which is my favorite movie.
Definitely.
And but that's what we're going to do here. So please give us your feedback. Contact us at the website. You'll see the links below us. Find us at Twitter, at Twitter.
Right.
At Twitter, yeah.
Yeah, at FilmGeeks384. And you can find us on Facebook. Just search FilmGeeks and all that fun stuff.
Leave a comment for us. Let us know what you like. Let us know what you don't like. And we'd like to give a special shout out as well to Scott Clark Toyota for letting us shoot here. They are very kind to us on that one.
Oh, absolutely.
They got some great deals going on right now. Like they got a 2014 Camry. You can lease it for $189 a month. That is an amazing deal.
Absolutely. You can also buy a brand new 2014 Corolla for 0% interest for 36 months. So awesome deals down here.
You can find them at 13,000 East Independence Boulevard in Matthews. Find them on the web, scottclarktoyota.com. And just come down here and tell them we sent you.
Absolutely.